Are you ready for the best Kansas City Chiefs insight? Welcome to ChiefsBlitz.com YouTube podcast with your hosts, Nick Athen, Andre Tillman, and producer Hence Todd. They'll break down the three-time Super Bowl champions as only they can do. Here's your host, Nick Athen.
Welcome in, everybody. As you can see, Nick is missing. He's at the game, and we have Lou here as his replacement. Go ahead, Lou. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, hopefully a younger, better-looking version of Nick. I think you guys evidently got the short end of the stick. You're left with maybe getting your certifications for elder care, but we really love the Chiefs. And I'm just happy to be here. Thank you for the opportunity. I've been a Chiefs fan for many, many years. Done podcasting for a long time. And hopefully after today, I don't wreck this too much. And you guys invite me back. What's up, Andre?
What up? What up? What's going on? Nice to meet you, Lou, Mr. Bowtie himself. No, I'm excited. Let's get into it. Let's jump right into it, man. We got some stuff to talk about today.
Gotta get my glasses on for that. Let's go.
Let's go.
I'm doing. How everybody doing today before we, break the ice? How everybody doing? Everybody shooting? Everybody feeling good about the game?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
We're bringing
ready.
We're bringing the red dog, the green dog, the fire zone, maybe even the cat off the edge with Spags calling the shots. So let's go.
Let's go.
But let's talk about it, guys. The backup quarterback position has been a battle since training camp, and Blake Graffic came in. Do you see Bichelle having even a chance is taking that job from Gabbert? What you think, Lou?
Well, I think Shane's made a lot of progress, a lot of steps over the last couple of years. Been in the offense now. He seems to be running things a lot more efficiently, finding his guys and so forth. But you bring in a veteran like Blaine Gabbert, and you got to believe he's going to be the number 2 quarterback. I mean, just imagine, if you would, those playoff games when Chad Henne came in and made those drives, whether it was against the Browns, whether it was against Jacksonville when Patrick got hurt. Could you imagine shoving Shane Buechele into that situation over Blaine Gabbert? I would say no. I think Blaine has done enough to show that he's got command of the offense, even though he's only been here a short time. I think he's got the arm. You saw him today making plays all over the place. And if it wasn't for Rice dropping another wide open pass, he would have had another long touchdown.
Right.
So all respect to Shane and where he's going. And I think what he can be, I think right now, Gabbert's got to be the number 2. He's going to be in Patrick's ear, almost taking that Kafka role on the sideline.
Most definitely. I'm going to say this about Gabbert. Me looking at the stats and over this last couple games, I think it's Gabbert. I think Gabbert have a good sustain on the offense. I believe he's a seasoned vet, and it showed. He has a passer rating over 134, over close to 134 to 140, 150, up in that range. Number 12. He's fun to watch. He's very exciting to watch. Is he a risky guy? Yes, he is risky. He does make a lot of he take a lot of risky throws. Makes a lot of risky throws, I would say. But honestly, if you want somebody that can take control of the offense when Mahomes go down, I think it's Gabbert. Because I was with number 12, and then I started really looking at it like from a pressure standpoint and from a playoff standpoint. If that was to happen, I believe in Gabbert. Gabbert is the guy.
What do you got, Hence? I mean,
I think Shane Buechele.
Really?
I think if they don't put it, they try to sneak him on a practice squad, he's not making that practice squad unless they're going to carry 3 quarterbacks. and I don't see Andy Reid carrying 3 quarterbacks. If you trying to put Shane Michelle on that practice squad, he just had a little bad couple drives today. That one pick wasn't on him; it was on Cordell Powell. With he had it right in his hands and he flipped it up. But that third pick was actually on him because he threw it behind the tight end, number 49. He threw it right behind him. But I can say this: if they're gonna try to sneak him on the practice squad, I don't see that happen. I don't see him get stuck on the practice squad without somebody stealing him. And I think he should. I think the Chiefs should give him that chance. Go younger. Go younger behind Patrick. Have somebody pushing Patrick instead of Patrick. Standing there like, okay, we all know it's Patrick's job for the near future, but you got to have that person that's behind him that's younger too. That's going to command. Like if he come in and he can get valuable for him, if you can trade him away or some couple picks for him, but I don't see him if they try to sneak him on a practice squad that he's going to stay there on the practice squad.
Well, I think they're going to keep all three. I think the one you have to worry about is Oladikin sneaking him through the practice squad because the kid's shown some stuff in this camp, and then also I think he was with the Steelers last year. So I think they changed the rule because after what happened in the NFC Championship game, you can have the third quarterback active in the playoffs, so you're not left throwing Christian McCaffrey out there playing quarterback. So I think they do keep all three because Shane plays a lot like Patrick and is a lot more mobile and so forth. And I think they see a future for him at some point, whether it's in Kansas City or somewhere else. Maybe they trade him, like you said, Hence. And I fully believe that, but I'm good with them keeping all three.
Yeah.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Hey, go ahead, Mr. Bowtie.
Go ahead, speak the point, sir. Speak the point.
Nah, I think Ogladikin, if I said his name right, I mean no disrespect. He has been playing good. He's been playing good. And like me looking at the overall picture, like he's been playing fairly well. That's a good point. He's been consistent too. He's been consistent. His attempts completion is right there behind Gabbert. And he does got good legs too. He got good legs to where he can get out the pocket and make plays. So I mean, that's a good argument right there. Like it,
yeah.
I'm with you on that one. I think they might end up keeping him because
these are not going to be easy cuts this year.
They're not.
they're really not.
But which one can you really count on? Can you count on 12? And can you count on I want to say my man's name wrong. What's his name again?
Oladikin.
Yeah. Oladikin. So, do we keep Oladikin or do we keep 12? Because they're both exciting, but honestly, Oladikin been playing better. I know third string, but he's been playing a whole lot better.
He has, but I think just what the time and everything they've invested in Buechele, and just I think the relationship he also has with Patrick goes a long way as well. But he's shown that it's not too big for him. He goes out there and he performs. Didn't have the best day today. I don't think that's going to make a huge bearing on their decision. I think they've got a pretty good feeling of those guys. And again, I'm going to stick with Blaine being the number 2 just because of the veteran savvy and just, again, in a big time position, which they typically are in most of their games, that you're going to trust 9 to go in there and get the job done.
Yeah, Blaine
most
Griffin,
definitely.
But he making a key point. Like it been realistic reality. Andy Reid's gonna go with that seasoned veteran that been, that's been around for a couple teams. He's been here. He's seen every game. He's seen everything, and he also can bring all that experience to Patrick Mahomes when Patrick Mahomes is having a bad game. Can Blank? I mean, can Michelle do that? No. Can the other guy do it? No. But I can see them taking Gabbert, giving the job, but I don't see them. I just don't see them keeping 3. If they keep 3 quarterbacks, then one of the receivers is not going to be, ain't going to be kept.
Speaking of receivers, what do we do with 82? Every time he's on the field, all he does is make plays. He's just been underrated, I think, his whole career, coming from Iowa.
Mhm.
I mean, he's been on the practice squad and he just shows up every
Yeah.
week. I mean, we talk about Sky and MVS and Tony and Rice and James and J Watt and Ross. What are we going to do with Smith Marset?
Yeah, that's why I'm saying. Like, if you're gonna keep 3 quarterbacks, as I don't see the Chiefs doing, then one of the receivers gonna have to, is somebody's gonna get snubbed in the end. And if I see, that's what I was going to get to. If Smith gets snubbed, then he get picked up by a good team, and because he's been balling out this preseason. He's been balling out. He's been doing, every time his number was called, he was around the ball making plays.
Yeah.
Even on special
teams
teams
too. Yeah.
Even on special teams, he was balling out making plays. The catches he had today, he looked like a veteran wide receiver out there. I was like,
Yep.
Man. And Rashee Rice, he had a good game last game. Then this game was his terrible game. He missed it. He's all the drops. A wide open touchdown. I was like, oh, there he's about to know. I was
how concerned are you guys about his drops? Because it's scary when he gets the ball in his hands. I mean, it's like electric. I mean, he's a great player, but some of these drops it gets a little old. If you're the quarterback, it's like,
yeah, because it's coming out of nowhere. Because it didn't come when he's in college with the Mustangs. He didn't have a lot of drops. He was a possession receiver, after yards catch receiver, yak receiver, a physical receiver, a D-hop receiver. It just seems like, I think he's just thinking too much. He's in his head and he's thinking too much. You can tell that he's trying to catch the ball and go upfield, trying to take the ball and run up the field. And instead of focusing on catching the ball and getting to the next step, he's trying to catch the ball and turn and go. So I don't know what the drop's going to come from. I don't see the drops. I don't see the drops going no farther than this, man.
Rice isn't going anywhere. I mean, I that's not what I meant, but it's kind of concerning.
Listen, I'll tell you what, my man, the last 2 games he's been in the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
That man was 4 for 4, 2 consecutive games, almost 92 yards last game, 101 this year. This game.
You're talking about Amir, right?
Yeah. So compared to 6'3", 6 target for 3, 6 for 3 from Rice, right? Ross 5 for 2. Those been their stats in these last couple games. This young man right here, 4 for 4. So that means, hey, the man's getting the job done. When his numbers called, he's performing. But again, KC got so many options at the wide receiver situation, because you can call any one of those guys and they're going to come out there and they're going to perform. When their number is called, they're going to do their job. So again, let me ask y'all this question, right? Who do you feel is the Chiefs' X receiver right now? Who are we going with?
We're going with Justin Ross. Go ahead and let me watch. Speaking of that X receiver, go ahead.
We definitely want him there.
We want him there. Let's. I'm gonna go ahead and bring it in when we talk about with Justin Ross, man. Let's go ahead and watch. Let's watch some of his highlights. This preseason, Justin Ross has been getting off. The catch right there. Did you see that catch? The catch right there. He threw the guy off of him. He's going up the field. Look at it. The step, the cut back. Throws him off and turns up the field. The Chiefs ain't never had this type of physical wide receiver with Patrick Mahomes. Imagine them with Patrick Mahomes.
Sammy to a degree, I mean, but he could never stay healthy. Sammy Watkins, but he reminds me a little bit more a D-hop, but with maybe a little more speed. There's just something about this kid. I just think he's just destined for greatness. And I keep repeating myself, but I can't help it. I really like this kid.
But
I think the physical standpoint, I think what Lewis referring to is the physical standpoint and the route running standpoint. I can see that. I believe can he be the X receiver? I don't know, because he had the potential to be. Can Rasheed Rice be the X receiver? Don't know. Does he have potential? Could be. The thing with Andy Reid's offense, it doesn't even matter
No.
because it just depends on the defense. Wherever defense the other team is running, that's whose name he's going to bring up. Like Andy Reid is a package style offensive coach. Wherever package I'm putting in, that's the number I'm going to call on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think
You know,
you're
you never
absolutely right. These guys, they all play, they are interchangeable. They
right,
all play,
absolutely,
they
absolutely.
have to learn all the different positions, and he kind of moves them around like chess pieces. So I hear what you're saying. They've never had that X type receiver, which I hear what you're saying. I agree with that wholeheartedly because of the body type. But now you got two of them with Rice and Ross.
Mm-hmm.
Now, where I
Yes.
think Smith Marset might be a little bit behind the eight balls, they have MVS that has a similar body type.
Mm-hmm.
MVS doesn't play special teams, right? So you got to kind of see. And then what's Kadarius Toney's status? We haven't seen
Right.
him since the beginning of camp, and just the way he moves. And I'm talking about KT. I mean, it it shocks me that he doesn't get hurt even more. I mean, he just has these violent cuts and it looks tremendous and it's like a video game, but the hamstring just seems to like go all the time. And it's scary because he's such an electric player. So, well, here we go. All right. You guys are Brett Veach now. You're sitting there and we're going to keep 7. Does Smith Marset make your 7?
Yes, I think so.
So who's out?
Just me, Watson. You gotta let go Watson. Got to. Even though he made it the touchdown in Arizona, you got to let go Watson. Yeah, I don't.
If
I
you're
don't. How
Patrick loves him.
I understand that, but
Yeah.
how can you pass on? How can you pass on this younger talent though? That's going to be around.
Yeah. Well,
Around him.
Watson's not that old, and I
Yeah.
hear what you're saying. It seems like he may be at his ceiling. So
Right.
I agree with you there as well. As Watson, we know what he is, what he's going to be. Some of these kids, I think, they're kind of finding themselves and
Right.
have a higher ceiling. So that's a tough one. I mean, even if they keep 7, God forbid they go to 6, then it's going to be really tough cut. And there's going to be teams lining up trying to grab those guys on Tuesday at 4 o'clock. Well, 3 o'clock Central Time, 4 o'clock Eastern Time.
So if you look at it like this, I
If it-
tell you about the preseason is basically based on backups. It's basically based on who's
Right.
gonna fill in, right? So I like Powell. Powell been consistent. The first 2 games, Powell been consistent. It's been tight. It been some plays to where he was tightly covered and he made plays. Ramingo, I like Ramingo. I like him when his numbers called. I like him as one of my guys. Wow. That's a hard one because we know MVS,
They
we know Ross,
might do
we know
something with
Rice.
Ramijo because of the injury. They
Right.
might have some flexibility there. Where they don't
Right.
have to, you know.
So that's a hard one.
It is.
It's a hard one because these guys, when their numbers called, they're going to go out there and perform. But what's this guy name? Marquette, right?
Smith Marset. Yeah, Amir.
Smith Marset. I'm
Yep.
going to remember that. Smith Marset. He's 4 out of 4. Almost over 100 yards.
He shows up.
And he shows
If they
up.
watch the tape, he's always making plays. So that's a hard thing to say. We're going to move on.
And we can't just brush off preseason because his number was called and he performed. I will keep him. I keep him 4 for 4 last couple games, over 100 yards. I'm keeping him. We got Powell, Ramingo, we got Watson. Because honestly, guys, Kadarius Toney is injury prone, so we don't know what this season gonna hold for him. We don't know.
He'll be back. I mean, eventually he's going to be back. It's just a matter for how long.
It's just a matter, right? It's a matter, but can he sustain a good full season? Right.
You saw what he did in the Super Bowl. It's like we need you for like 2 plays, man.
for 2 plays in this
and he changed the game completely with that punt return. That's hard to say. I mean, he's not going anywhere. It's just a matter of how many games he's going to be available for. Now, before we started off air, we were talking about the running back position and CEH. And I think, Clyde is kind of a polarizing guy. I think it's more so he just doesn't have the juice that maybe he did when he was first drafted. Yeah. And you see these other guys, you see Pops, you see Jet, you see, Prince, but Pirine, again, he's like Marset. He comes on the field and he pops, he makes plays, he's elusive, he's fast. Right. I mean, I feel bad for Clyde because, he's a first-round pick. He played in college with maybe one of the best college offenses ever.
Joe Burrow,
Jamar and Justin and Joe Burrow, and, I don't want to say he kind of rode their coattails, but if you're taking Clyde over DeAndre Swift and Jonathan Taylor, it just doesn't look good right now. So, I mean, is he a trade potential? I mean, with the running back market the way it is, do you see anybody trading for him?
Man, good point.
No,
good point. I don't see it.
I don't see it.
He doesn't have much money left on his deal. I think this is the last year of his rookie deal, perhaps.
Yeah.
And if they do, what team going to take him? Like, what team really needs?
Yeah. So that, hey, if he gets cut, I think he gets picked up. I don't know that anybody's going to give anything for him.
The Bengals probably try to pick him up because Joe Burrow did that connection. But the thing is, like, when they drafted him in the COVID year, and the Chiefs was coming off a Super Bowl, and I was like, it was like they was like, here's our we don't care pick,
a luxury pick.
Here's our luxury pick. We won a Super Bowl. We don't care. When Jonathan Taylor was sitting on the board, when Swift was sitting on the board, and I was like, I was banging the drum. Drake can vouch for me. I was banging the drum for Swift.
Absolutely.
I wanted Swift. I was like, Swift and the Chiefs offense, that will be deadly.
A lot of juice.
A lot of juice.
Juice.
Everything and what he brings to the table, that will be a deadly force. But then they bring in Clyde. You know what I mean? It ain't his fault that he got drafted to the Chiefs, and he got to live up to that star power. I just think this is not a great match for him. I don't think it's a great match for the team because when Eric Bieniemy was here, he was getting on him for missing the holes, not seeing the holes, missing. And he always fumble and it always get hurt like out of nowhere. And I'm like,
the burst is just not there. If it ever was there, it wasn't there very long. Then when he got injured, I don't know that he's not seeing it. I don't think he can physically get there with the burst when you see Pirine making those moves, you see Prince making that move, even Jet. I mean, as small as he is, that dude runs tough, and even between the tackles. So that's going to be an interesting one. I say keep the younger guys. I mean, it's the running back market. You just keep churning through them, and you're going to find ones that are effective. And Clyde, I guess thank you for your service, but I think we're moving on.
Okay, if Clyde's moving on. If you're moving on from Clyde, who's your third back?
Well, I'm keeping the two young guys, Jet and Pops, right? So Pirine and Prince. I mean, if they like him as a returner, so obviously then he's can do multiple things. I think Pirine could certainly be a returner in a pinch, and then McKinnon's going to keep his role, Again, but they kind of sprinkle him in. They don't want to use him up too much during the regular season. So you have all four guys that can kind of take some part of the load.
Right.
Guys, honestly, what Andy Reid brings to the table, there's somebody that can complement the offense from Mahomes. We're not really asking for no 1,000-yard back. Just somebody that can complement what Andrew likes to do. But Clyde Edwards-Helaire to me is a decent back. Not somebody I pay money for. He's a guy like you said, like that can be picked up off of free agency or something like that. But I don't really see him. I don't see the value for him. Like especially what Pac did. What Prince is, just no, it's no reason to keep him. There's no reason. There's no reason to keep him. So I think right now, let him go.
Yeah.
Let him go. So
you feel bad for the kid, but I think it's just the proof is on the tape, right?
That's your surprise cut. It's gonna come on Tuesday from the Chiefs, right? That's your surprise cut. Mm-hmm. That's your prize cut, Luke.
Yeah, let's get. I would say. I mean, it could be one of these receivers too that we're just we're locked in on. That maybe the team is like, we're not going to keep all these guys because again, you can make a case for each of them. I mean, you made a case, Andre, for like 3 guys that I'm thinking have no chance to make the team. But like the kid from Fresno State, Nico, maybe they put him on PUP or IR and just let him be on the practice squad all year.
Because he'll be a good kickoff returner also.
Great, because we don't know how long Richie James, he's definitely here for this year and see where that goes. But, did they extend him? I mean, he's been around a bit, but he is a great punt returner, which that was always an adventure last year if you had McCole back there. Sky was trying to learn how to do it, but should be interesting. The only other one on offense that I would say is, and again, I don't think cuts, but who do you think is going to be like the swing tackle? I mean, I'm not a big offensive line guy, but I like, is it going to be Winogo?
I thought it'd be Nang.
Niang.
I thought it'd be Niang, but
the draft pick, Wanye Morris.
I think he'd be it. But watching Nang today I was like, man, he just keep getting beat. You know what I mean? They gave him a chance. He's big. He looked a part of that. He can be a left tackle or right tackle, wherever part he can. He's beefy, he's big. But the thing is, like, it's just they gave him, the COVID year, then the year that he was injured. Now this year he's coming off his injury, and it's just like he ain't showed that push that he can push for that. Even though they signed Taylor, even though they signed Smith at the right tackle, you still should come in and, like, even though y'all signed these guys, I'm going to play my butt off that I'm still going to take their job. And then it's not been that from him, from what I've seen.
I think whoever complements to the offense better. Like I said, the proof is in the pudding. The proof, or if these quarterbacks is cramming to the left or the right side, or if they're getting pressure through the middle, then we know what time it is. Wow. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, the backup linemen all have to be versatile. You got Allegretti that can play either guard position. He can play center. I don't think there's any issues there. Derek Kennard, they kick him inside. He's a backup guard. I don't know that. And he's also played tackle. He played tackle at Kentucky and was a really good one. So we'll see on him. But I think Niang, all 3 of these guys that I mentioned, Niang, Morris, Winogo, will be in contention for that position. Maybe he was a starter. Niang, and that was a pretty significant injury that he had. So hopefully, he's healthy now, and they can see that. But I think they've got options for sure.
Right. So you think he'll be another surprise cut?
No, I think all 3 of those guys make the team for sure.
I think that's going to be
Allegretti and Kennard, and I think that would be your 10 offensive linemen.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you saying they can't? They keep in 10?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. But speaking of surprise cuts,
go ahead.
How everybody that's watching right now, how would y'all feel if the Chiefs out of nowhere cut Justin Ross? Is the Chiefs fans going to be an uproar?
The city would burn, I think. And Twitter would certainly burn.
If Justin Ross gets cut, wow, because honestly, the expectation of Justin Ross is so high, it's through the roof. Hey, hello. It's through the roof. So it's like, no way, because it's too high. It's no.
That would be an interesting thing to see. I mean, I don't want it to happen, but again, there's your guy. No way he's slipping through to the practice squad.
Right, like they said, anything is possible in the NFL.
And it's something we don't know. It's something we don't know that Absolutely. They know about them. And I'm like, well, I don't. Hey,
they said no one is safe. Like they said, no one is safe. If you don't know. Like I will be in an uproar because I've been rooting for this guy since he came out of college. I was one of the first Chiefs fans that said that when he came out, I was like, man, when he got undrafted, I was like, how did he go undrafted? But they say injury prone. I was like, okay, but still, what he was putting up there in Clemson and everything else with Trevor Lawrence, and what he was putting down there in Clemson. If he get cut, man, I'm gonna be the one. You gonna follow me on Twitter? I'm gonna be the one that's going up for.
I'll tell you this. I'll tell you what. If he get cut, guess who's picking him up? Jacksonville. If he gets cut, he's going right to Trevor Lawrence. He's gonna be Clemson too. He's going right to Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence love him.
They got all his pieces over there. They got all his pieces over there from Clemson so far.
Pitchforks and torches, man. It ain't no way. It can't happen. What about? I'm looking at the pass. I mean, we look at the other side of the ball, right? If we go on defense, my concern always is, and I'm sure everybody else, is pass rush. And now, with the Chris Jones situation, can we get a consistent pass rush with 4 guys? That's when Spags' defense, I think, is at its best. But
I think
he has all the blitz packages, right?
Yeah.
He got all of them. You're gonna have to dial up all of them to go sign Chris Jones.
Because this is my thing. I tell everybody this is the position I hold dearly. We come to Kansas City, and both times I talk about this all the time. If they don't get consistent pressure, it's going to be a long season for Kansas City. It's going to be an 0-3. It's going to be that 0-3 season again because Chris Jones was so dynamic and so much of a force in that middle or anywhere you put him on there. He's a force, and he's a guy that you got to keep an eye on, right? If you do not have that, they're going to eat away. They're going to control the clock. Mahomes ain't going to see the field. That's the only style of defense you can play on Mahomes. Run the ball, keep them off the field. They're gonna run the ball, right? But again, can Kansas City come out and shock the world and have a bunch of guys that can get pressure? Who knows? But if they do not get pressure, if Chris Jones does not sign, or if we wait till week 8, Chiefs gonna be in a bit of a pickle. If you wait until week 8 and seeing what Kansas City are, if they're top 15 in the league on defense, right? They're going to be a good team, but they're not going to be a championship team. Because you need defense. You need defense to go along with that. Now, remember,
they do.
Chris Jones been with Kansas City all 3 Super Bowl runs. Chris Jones, right?
Well, Jones is the closer with Frank Clark, whatever. But Jones, absolutely. And I know it was the local broadcast today. But they had Veach on in the booth, and they threw him some softballs. Did not ask one question about Chris Jones.
It was a Chiefs media.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's like
they wanted to ask that question.
He wasn't going to give them anything, right? I mean, and I wanted to ask you guys a question too, because this really struck me at the one press conference that Reed had. And it was like the first time he was asked about Chris Jones where he didn't immediately defer to Veach. Well, Veach takes care of all that stuff. You'll have to check with him. Where he says almost flat out, he normally doesn't get animated, but as animated as Andy gets, well, there's been no communication. And at first I'm thinking, well, maybe he took it as communication between Reed and Chris Jones. So no, there hasn't been any. But when he then went on and almost doubled down on it and then said, well, the games will go on, right? I mean, that's the way the deal works. That was the first bit of saltiness that I saw during this whole thing with Chris Jones. So I don't know if you guys felt the same way. Did you pick up on that at all? Or it might just be me. It just seemed a little different. It was a little bit different tone.
For me, it seems like he was tired of talking about it. If you go back and watch that T.O. press conference when they was asking him about T.O. and T.O. was working out in the parking lot doing sit-ups and everything else, it's a point where he get tired talking about it. And I think Chris Jones is going to be here Thursday night. I think so. Like they said someone needs to go to Stone Cold's house and bring him a Big Mac and say enough is enough. Enough is enough.
Maybe two. How about two?
Maybe three. Just depends because the man's starving out here. All right, the man's starving. But again,
I can't see him. I don't see the defense.
Huh?
I can't see him giving up 11 point some $1 million just to be sitting out $8 million.
Yeah,
now he did come on Twitter and said, "I got the money to back it up." So
he's going to come in. I mean, because he doesn't want to lose a year of towards free agency and his contract that he is still making $19.5 million. But I did see one thing today that gives me a little bit of hope. Now, even though Omenihu is going to be out the first 6 games, I just in my mind's eye imagine on third down having George on one side, maybe Dana or FAU on the other side, and Omenihu and Jones coming from the inside.
Right.
And how just devastating that could be, because you saw, a couple of those. Now, again, it was against backups, but Omenihu, rushing from the inside and getting pressure. It's just that kind of excited me a little bit.
I think we all know, like I tell everybody, let's go and cut it. Let's stop playing. Without CJ, that defense does not run. It don't scare nobody.
No.
They can run the ball up and down the field against them, and I'm trying to tell you, it's not going to be what it is. Mahomes really going to be cussing. It's really going to be on the sidelines going off, because CJ is a different breed of a defensive tackle. He's a different breed, and we can't replace that. We can't. I'm paying him give him his money because he earned every bit of that money. But it's a business. So with that being said, is if we can't afford him, and then go on. I wish you the best luck wherever you go. Y'all know it just can't see him. The tackle's gonna have to step up. Spack's gonna have to. He's gonna have to start blitzing. He's gonna have to start blitzing. He's gonna have to start blitzing, man.
They were able to work around Tyreek not paying him because wide receiver. We'll scheme things up. We'll get it done, and hey, they win the Super Bowl. But without Chris Jones, it's
different because
he's
repeating
his one. Yeah, yes. He's just, again, I mean, in the championship game, I mean, he closed it out. He took Burrow down. He's blocking passes in the Super Bowl against San Francisco. He's eating Jimmy Garoppolo up. But it's just, they got to pay him. But again, if you look at what Veach has been doing, now Chris Jones, I believe, is 29 now?
29, yes.
So this is definitely his last chance to get paid. I mean, so he is he's in the right lane of asking for as much as he could possibly get. I don't fault him at all.
At all. Me either.
And I think maybe Veach and the Chiefs brass were thinking, okay, we look at the DT market and what Simmons signed for, and Quinnen Williams and all these guys signed ahead of him, but I don't think they ever imagined he was going to ask for Aaron Donald money. And if you look at it and everything that he means to that team, he's worth that money.
He's worth that and then some. To me, he's bigger than Aaron Donald. He's
definitely taller,
taller and wider. It's
different player.
It's a grizzly, man.
Equally effective, but just a different beast. Just a different.
I'll put it like this: Chris Jones, Chiefs fans, don't worry. You heard it first here.
I keep hearing that. Everybody keeps saying, "Don't worry."
You heard it first from here. Heard it first from me. Stone Cold ain't going nowhere. He's going to be here versus the Lions. You know why? Because Veach and Andy Reid, this organization, Clark Hunt and them, when they knew Tyreek Hill didn't want to be here, they knew the draft was coming up. They said, all right, Tyreek, we about to trade you. You can see if they're going to give you the money. We're going to take these first round picks and we're going to flip them for all these corners, draft picks, and we're going to rebuild his offensive line. Chris Jones, they say, okay, he's an anchor. He's a three. He's top the three of the three head monster of the Chiefs. You know, Chris Jones, Travis Kelce, and Patrick Mahomes. So they know that he's part of the key horses of the Chiefs franchise. And when the draft is here and all these great D linemen coming from these D tackles coming from Georgia Tech, you don't think the Chiefs were like, okay, we ain't gonna give you no Aaron Donald money, but we're gonna trade you away before we get some of these picks in this draft, you know what I mean, and rebuild this D line. So they know that Chris Jones is going to be here. They know Chris Jones is going to be here, and that's why you don't see them like really worried about it. And Chris Jones is always known to always put stuff on Twitter, and you see that he ain't changed none of his. He put Frank Clark up there, and then some little weird little logo on his thing. But other than that, you don't see none of his Instagrams. He didn't clean his Instagram. He didn't clean nothing else. He didn't do all that like you know. But I think he's gonna be here. He's a Chiefs for life. He never deleted that tweet. And once he delete that tweet, then Chiefs fans word.
Your mouth to God's ears. Okay. Let's I amen. I'm with you. Let's do it. Let's go. Let's go.
They said Cheetah had too many off the field issues. Cheetah was a diva. Tyreek Hill was a diva. He seeked attention. Chris Jones ain't seeking no attention. He's seeking wealth. He's thinking, I want my money. I want if y'all get the best of me. I'm 29 years old. I'm 29 years old. I want my money. Now, like the biggest I am, I ain't got that long. I need my money. So I get that. Absolutely.
And he deserves it. Is there any defensive players that you guys like that maybe, bubble type guys that you want to see on the team? Anybody that like just kind of caught your eye and is like, wow.
No, I can't keep on. I keep on forgetting his name, and I'm sorry, but I want him to stay on the team. Number 12, the cornerback from
Halassi.
Yeah, I want
the corner from Western Kentucky.
Yeah, I think he has something. I think he has some.
He's another one that shows up. He shows up like all the time.
All the time. If he would have that pick today, if the other guy didn't jump in front of him, that pick was going right to him because he was having him locked down in the corner. And you go watch his reps. From the coach's view on NFL.com, you go watch his reps and you see him highlight his play. He's been locking people down. He's finessing guys on the sideline. He's patting them down and taking their gloves. That's why I say.
I like
48. I like 48. The linebacker. I like number 48. Man, he's been everywhere. I like him. He's a good piece. Got good speed on him. A good solid tackler. I like him.
48 or 44.
48.
Okay, I was going to say Cam Johnson, the kid from Indiana. When's the last time the Chiefs were this deep at linebacker, where you could say some of these guys like Cam Johnson, who's a great player, was a top linebacker in the Big Ten, and he got hurt, but he may not make this team.
I didn't see him going undrafted. When I watched him when I was following him back in college, I didn't see Jones going undrafted. I didn't see him going undrafted.
Cam Jones, that's right.
Yeah, Kim Jones. I didn't see Kim Jones going undrafted, but he landed on the Chiefs. He's my guy. Like that hope I had for Justin Ross. He's that guy I have that hope I had for him too. Like them two guys off of injuries that they had, but they were studs in college. Like he was always around the ball, pick sixes, hitting. The speed that he looks. If you go back and watch his game tape, he reminds me of Derek Thomas. Not Derek Thomas, but Derek Johnson. Derek Johnson. You go back and watch Derek Johnson tape, and watch him, and you see his college tape. You're like, oh, you compare these two. But
that's pretty high praise, Hence.
I'm telling you, like
Chief legend.
I know. I know. I see how Derrick Johnson played, but Kim Jones, you go back and watch his highlights. I didn't see why he went undrafted. I didn't see why he go undrafted because he played in a small school. That's understandable. He wasn't in like the big schools. Everybody like the Georgias, the Clemsons, and all them schools. Nobody, he wasn't up there, but I didn't see him like I didn't. They were surprised, like, dang, he didn't get like a 7th round pick or 6th round look. Because I had him falling in the 4th round when I put a 4th round grade on him, Kim Jones, but he went undrafted. I said maybe he tested wrong when they was testing his IQ or something. But
I think 48 been around the ball. I think I believe he lead the team in tackles, solo tackles. From what I've seen, he's been able around the ball, a tackling machine, and you need good tacklers out here in the field. You need good tacklers, So he got good speed, tackle. He's everywhere the ball is. I like 48. I think he'd be tremendous for Kansas City going into the season, and I really do hope they really actually keep him.
Well, all those backup linebackers are going to be core special teamers, and Tobe wants athletes. So yeah, I could certainly see that happening. But again, the linebacker position, it just seems like it has not been this deep in a while. Now we're projecting a little bit, but I think the 3 guys that start, you throw Tranquil in as a 4th guy, he's going to be. I mean, to me, he's like a piece that'll get used like Dirty Dan used to be, but Tranquil's like a 10 times better athlete, Dan Sorensen.
Yeah, he's something else,
That's
wasn't he?
right.
Yeah,
hey, he made that. He made that play against Houston in the playoffs. So Dirty Dan was good by me.
And that play against Cleveland, and that play in Cleveland in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, I mean
he made a good play.
Every time he got beat, he never put his head down. He would come back and make a play. So God bless him for that. Some younger guys, I don't know. Haven't seen enough of them. I don't know if they flashed, but BJ Thompson, the edge rusher. I believe it was from UTEP or Stephen F. Austin, one of those schools down in Texas. Truman Jones was an Ivy Leaguer, I believe, undrafted free agent. Who knows? Some of these are going to be difficult, but so many positions are set. So when you look at a team like this, it's hard to say, well, this is an actual battle when they're pretty set. When it comes right down to it.
Do you see Kano making a team?
I think so. I mean, I think so. Yeah. I mean, with Amenahu being out for 6 games, we don't know what's happening with Chris Jones. Is Turk? Is he injured? I didn't see him on the field today. He might have been on the sideline. Wharton.
Yeah, I didn't see him. Today.
So there's going to be some holes there. I think. I'm still waiting.
I'm still trading block. We don't know.
I'm still waiting for Malik Herring to fire. That was another guy, again, blue chip player, played at Georgia, got hurt his senior year, went undrafted, and I'm waiting, and I hopefully this is the year for him. So I'm kind of curious about him. And then the defensive back. Now again, there's no fear of him being cut, but Joshua Williams is one of my favorite players. And he's got a special place in my heart on another show, on a different show that I do. I interviewed him his senior year at Fayetteville State. I think it was 3 games into the season, and he had won Defensive Player of the Week the first 2 weeks in his conference. And he was just the length, everything else. I mean, this was a Division II HBCU, and he ends up being like a 4th round pick. That was huge. And I was just so jacked when the Chiefs drafted him that I just have a special place in my heart for number 2.
That's my guy. Drake. He probably going to
feel that. All right, man. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and cut the cake on this one. I'm going to go ahead and stop playing. He's to me not consistent enough for me. He's not consistent enough for me. This is gonna be the year for me. I can see what can he do within this scheme. Because all the big plays last year came from his side. Majority of the big plays came from his side. He got good length, he got good speed. I get that, but my thing is the IQ. right? It's the IQ. Because you look at that play against with the Bengals, that ball goes deep. It went for Cooks. Williams getting cooked on that play. It just some plays to me. I question him. I like Watson. I like McDuffie. I like Watson. I like McDuffie. I think them guys are good pieces. In that secondary, of course, we know Snead. What Snead can bring to the table. He's a good blitzing off the edge, good slot corner, and can play on the outside too. But the thing with Williams, I got to see a whole lot more for me to even go there with him because I know in college he had probably the best potential, had a good upside. But right now in the league, I got to see a whole lot more before I really establish him as one of the young good corners right now. But he got a good upside on him. But to me,
He's
I
gonna
just
be
haven't
the
seen
GOAT.
nothing yet.
How about we give some props to Dave Merritt?
That's for you, Drake. Get out of here. Yeah, don't talk all that.
Don't mess with our Deuce. Come on.
All right. Well, I'll give our slack on him. It's fine. It's fine.
No, hey, that's we
But
gotta have varying opinions, or otherwise the show wouldn't be any good.
Right. The crazy part about it is, can you count on him to go one-on-one with the elite?
Well, I would say as a rookie coming from the level of play that he came from, a lot of that was to be expected. So I'm expecting that even Jalen Watson as well, all these guys to come along. And I was just saying, let's give a shout out to Dave Merritt, the DB coach, who's done an amazing job with all these first-year guys from different levels of play and just making it work and building a championship team. Now, all these guys going into their second year, I'm excited for every one of them. You mentioned Brian Cook. Obviously, he's starter.
That's my guy there.
You like him from Cincinnati? Great,
great
player.
Good hard hit, hard nose, good hard hitting safety, man.
And the other kid that they drafted, we haven't mentioned him, but Shamari Connor from Virginia Tech.
Oh, absolutely.
He's flashed and he's gonna play in defensive backfield. So I think in short, what we're saying is that this team is pretty damn deep. They're a championship team. There are some fine lines here, different positions where we can nitpick, but I think the biggest concern again is the defensive line.
Yeah, that's the Achilles heel.
Suspension, contract, youth, all these different things, and they're going to have to make it work for those first 6 or 7 weeks to see kind of how they can piece this together. But either way, I'm excited about this team. I can't wait for Thursday night. And
and they said division winners. That's what's going to happen.
Division, no, because Russell Wilson. No, I'm just playing. just playing. But Chiefs are definitely going to do it again. They're definitely going to do it again.
Yeah,
I'm feeling it. I don't think, barring any, I will knock on wood, barring any significant injuries to, I think we know the guys that if they get injured, things can be a little bit more difficult. They're going to be right there. I mean, this team's not going anywhere. They're so young and that's the thing you really, appreciate when you see all the different positions and just, Kelsey and Gabbert might be the only guys over 30 on the team.
Mm-hmm.
True.
And it's kind of, I think, by design. And I think that's kind of that's the thing in the back of my mind that just keeps tugging at me about Chris Jones and how this might not happen is just the fact that he is that close to 30 and they don't want to give him 90 million or 100 million guaranteed or whatever the number is. But Hence said it's happening. So I'm good.
I'm Chiefs fans, don't worry. You're gonna see Chris Jones there Thursday night, and also before we get off the D line, I hope they keep Daniel Slayton. I keep on forgetting, can't pronounce his name correct. But number 71, I hope they keep him because we need somebody that big, that rotation that's gonna plug up the run.
Danny Shelton, yeah.
I hope
Shelton to me is an anchor. Sorry, real quick, he is an anchor, and we hope he can be that guy that can really give him that push. So we'll see again. We'll see. Hey. All right. But honestly though, like, where is the push coming from?
Right.
But hopefully he can be the guy though. Hopefully he can be the guy.
I hope he can turn it around from him getting drafted with the Giants.
Hey.
Hope we can turn it around. But
No
I
doubt.
just had to hope.
Biggest question mark going into the season is that
Man,
is that
big
D line.
question mark.
But again, guys, you know what I mean? Chris Jones going to be there. So don't worry. The Chiefs by 30 on the Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions will lose 38-14. Chiefs.
All right.
Yeah, right. It's me from a chief from the kingdom. I'm like,
as soon as we're done, I'm calling my guy in Vegas. I'm down on that.
38.
Justin Ross getting introduced to the NFL.
Trying to get some odds on minus 21.
I'm trying to tell you because this man's his vision of week 1 is crazy. I'm like, all right, we'll see.
So with that said, man, we want to thank Lou for filling in for Mr. Nick. You know, Nick was out. He was at the game with the family, enjoying the game with the fam. So, you know, stay tuned. We will be back after. We're going to have something. We'll keep you guys posted of what we're going to be back throughout the week. We're going to be breaking down the cuts, the 53-man roster to see what the Chiefs team's built. Because I don't see the Chiefs just sitting back and just waiting on Chris Jones. I can feel a couple trades coming in. and fixing that D line, the D front. So
I really appreciate you guys letting me sit in. This was a lot of fun. Enjoyed meeting you guys. I hope Nick lets me come back again sometime. I made some cracks maybe about his looks or his age, but I'm sure it'll be coming back my way very soon. So, but no, seriously, this was a lot of fun. I hope we get a chance to do it again.
Absolutely.
Okay. And again, I think you did an excellent job. So with that said, guys,
thank you, sir.
We'll see you next time around. All right, guys.
Peace.